Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today is Friday, September 26th, 2025, and we have a very active situation developing in the Atlantic Ocean. We're tracking two significant weather systems, Tropical Storm Humberto, already gaining strength, and a tropical wave likely to become Tropical Storm Imelda. These storms are developing unusually close to each other, making their paths harder to predict. Humberto is the more developed storm, but Invest 94L could bring more direct impacts to the Bahamas and possibly the southeastern U.S. The interaction between these two storms is a major point of uncertainty for forecasters. This is a critical time in hurricane season, and everyone along the East Coast, Bahamas, and Bermuda should stay alert. Let's break down each storm and what you need to know. First, let's look at Humberto. Let's focus on Tropical Storm Humberto. Humberto is several hundred miles northeast of the Leeward Islands, moving northwest over warm Atlantic waters. The good news, it's not a direct threat to the Caribbean or U.S. mainland. Conditions are perfect for rapid strengthening, and Humberto is expected to become a major hurricane by early next week. Its path will curve north and then northeast, guided by high pressure and the jet stream, keeping it away from the U.S. However, Humberto's large size means it will generate dangerous waves and rip currents along the east coast. The main story: Humberto will become a powerful hurricane over open water, but its presence could influence the development and track of the next system, potential Tropical Storm Imelda. We'll keep a close watch as it grows. Next, let's talk about Bermuda's risk. Here's what's at stake for the island. While the U.S. may avoid Humberto, the island of Bermuda is facing a much more significant threat. The storm, which is gaining strength over the warm Atlantic waters, is projected to come dangerously close to Bermuda. Bermuda faces a much greater threat. The island, known for its beautiful beaches and vibrant culture, is now bracing for what could be a major hurricane event. The forecast brings Humberto, likely a major hurricane, very close to Bermuda early next week. Meteorologists are closely monitoring the storm's path, which could bring devastating winds and heavy rainfall. Even a near miss could mean hurricane-force winds, torrential rain, and dangerous coastal flooding for the island. The powerful winds and high waves could cause significant damage to coastal properties and infrastructure. Residents and visitors in Bermuda should prepare now for possible power outages, flooding, and beach erosion. Stocking up on essential supplies, securing homes, and having an emergency plan in place are crucial steps to ensure safety. The next 48 hours are crucial. Small shifts in the storm's track could mean the difference between a glancing blow and a direct hit. Meteorologists are using advanced models to predict the storm's path, but uncertainty remains. Bermuda's strict building codes and hurricane experience help, but a major hurricane is always serious. The island's infrastructure is designed to withstand strong storms, but the community must remain vigilant. Monitor official forecasts and follow local instructions closely. Staying informed through reliable sources is essential for making timely decisions. Now is the time to check your hurricane kits and review your safety plan. Ensure that you have enough food, water, and medical supplies to last several days. We hope the storm tracks far enough west to spare Bermuda the worst, but the risk is real. The community's preparedness and resilience will be tested in the coming days. Let's shift to the developing threat in the Bahamas, where another storm is brewing and could pose significant challenges. Now let's turn our attention to the developing system that's raising concerns for both the Bahamas and the southeastern United States. This is a situation that's evolving rapidly, and meteorologists are watching it closely as it moves through the region. Invest 94L, a broad and vigorous tropical wave, is already making its presence felt. Heavy rain and gusty winds are sweeping across the Turks and Caicos, and parts of Hispaniola are experiencing tropical storm-like conditions. Residents there are dealing with flooding concerns and power outages as the system churns nearby. The environment over the Bahamas is especially favorable for development, with warm ocean waters and low wind shear. As Invest 94L drifts northwest, forecasters say it's likely to organize further and could soon earn the name Tropical Storm Imelda. Over the weekend, we expect to see this system become more organized, with thunderstorms wrapping around a developing center. The chance of it strengthening into a named storm is high, and rapid intensification can't be ruled out given the current conditions. The biggest question now is where this system will go and how strong it will become. Several forecast models are hinting at a possible hurricane making landfall somewhere along the Carolinas early next week, but there's still uncertainty in the exact track and timing. With that in mind, everyone in the Bahamas and along the Southeast U.S. coast should be on high alert. Now is the time to review your hurricane plans, check emergency supplies, and be ready to act quickly if watches or warnings are issued. Even if the system takes time to intensify, the Bahamas will likely experience tropical storm conditions this weekend. Strong winds, heavy rain, and dangerous surf are all possible, regardless of whether it becomes a hurricane right away. Meteorologists will be monitoring the storm's progress around the clock, analyzing new data as it comes in. We'll have a much clearer picture of its path and potential strength as the system organizes over the next 24 to 48 hours. For now, a significant tropical threat to the U.S. is becoming more likely. Stay tuned for updates and make sure you're prepared for whatever this developing storm may bring. Even before it's been officially named, Invest 94L has already made its presence felt across the region, causing major problems for communities in its path. Meteorologists have been closely monitoring this system as it churns over the Atlantic, and the early impacts have been significant. Torrential rain has already battered Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, overwhelming drainage systems and leading to widespread flooding and dangerous landslides. Streets have turned into rivers, and many neighborhoods are dealing with water damage and power outages. Rivers have overflowed their banks, sending muddy water rushing into homes and businesses. Roads are now impassable in several areas, and landslides have blocked highways, cutting off access to some communities and making rescue efforts more difficult. This is a powerful reminder that tropical systems can be dangerous long before they officially become named storms. Even in their early stages, these disturbances can unleash severe weather, disrupt daily life, and threaten lives and property. Now, heavy rain and gusty winds are spreading across Hispaniola and the Turks and Caicos. Residents there are bracing for more flooding, with emergency crews on alert as the system continues to dump rain and whip up strong winds, toppling trees and power lines. The Bahamas are next in line, with forecasters warning of periods of torrential rain and intense thunderstorms. Urban flooding is likely, and residents are being urged to prepare for significant travel disruptions and possible evacuations as the system organizes and strengthens. Meanwhile, the Southeast U.S. is already saturated from a previous weather system. If Imelda arrives on top of this, the risk of flash flooding and river flooding will be much higher, putting even more communities at risk. The combination of these storms could create a severe, widespread flooding event, stretching emergency resources and making recovery efforts even more challenging for those affected. We're watching this situation closely, especially for the Carolinas and Georgia, where flood alerts are already in place and residents are being urged to stay informed and have emergency plans ready. With two tropical systems in play, the next few days will be critical. Let's take a closer look at how these storms might interact and what that could mean for the region. The proximity of Humberto and the developing Imelda brings the possibility of the Fujiwara effect, where two storms interact and influence each other's paths. If Humberto dominates, it could pull Imelda north and east, possibly steering it away from the U.S., a best-case scenario. But if the storms stay far enough apart, Imelda could strengthen over the Bahamas and head toward the Southeast U.S. This uncertainty makes forecasting Imelda's path especially challenging. The dance between these storms hasn't started yet, and small changes could mean big differences in the outcome. Expect forecast updates as the situation evolves this weekend. It's not a sign of error, but of a complex, changing environment. We'll know more as the storms get closer. Now, what does this mean for the U.S. East Coast? For the East Coast, the message is clear. From Florida to the Carolinas, stay alert and monitor forecasts closely. The risk of a hurricane landfall in the southeast early next week is real and rising. Now is the time to review your hurricane plan and check your disaster kit. If Imelda makes landfall, expect storm surge, damaging winds, and major inland flooding. Even a near miss could bring tropical storm force winds, heavy rain, and dangerous surf. The entire southeast coast could feel impacts, not just those in the direct path. The next 48 hours are critical for tracking and preparation. As the system organizes, forecasts will become more accurate. Stay tuned for updates. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts and follow local officials' advice. Preparation now can make all the difference. No matter where Humberto and Imelda go, dangerous coastal conditions are coming to the U.S. East Coast. Both storms will generate large, powerful swells, creating hazardous surf and life-threatening rip currents from Florida to New England. Stay out of the water. Rip currents will be stronger and more frequent than usual. Heed warnings from lifeguards and officials. Red flags mean it's too dangerous to swim. These waves will also cause significant beach erosion, threatening dunes and coastal infrastructure. Beaches still recovering from past storms could see more damage. Mariners should expect hazardous conditions and check marine forecasts before heading out. Secure your vessel and wait for the seas to calm. The ocean will be dangerous for several days. Let's talk about how to prepare for what's next. We're facing a complex and potentially dangerous situation in the Atlantic. With Humberto strengthening and Imelda likely to form, vigilance is key. Stay informed with updates from the National Hurricane Center and local officials. Make sure your phone is charged and emergency alerts are enabled. If you're in the Bahamas or Southeast U.S., review your hurricane plan and prepare your disaster kit now. Know your evacuation zone and have a plan if you need to leave. Secure loose objects around your property. Preparation now can save lives and reduce stress later. We'll keep you updated as the forecast becomes clearer. Stay aware, stay prepared, and be safe. Thank you for watching.